peoples of the internet, and welcome to the Assembly of Nerds podcast. I am your host, Alias. Joining me today, we have our effervescent Ellie, our indubitable Matt. I'm calling him indubitable again because I like that one. And I'm trying to think.
The Screaming Austin.
Yeah. The always screaming Austin. The all screaming Austin. That's what we'll go with. The all screaming Austin. Yeah.
We have fun here.
Okay. My first question for you guys, and Ellie, I'll modify the question for you, is what is for you the most annoying part of making videos? And Ellie, for you, what is the most annoying part of drawing for you?
If I had to pick, it'd definitely be recording my lines, because I tend to talk really fast, so when I'm recording, I can be, and then here's talk, blah, 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 God, bloody hell, and then I have to reset, completely do it, start from scratch. And that's kind of why it takes so long for me to even make videos. Like, I can be recording, and then I just have to reset it because I mess up a single line. So yeah, recording is my biggest problem.
I'd say I have two bigger problems. One of them is, getting the motivation to make the video. Like, because usually I would feel out of it, and then I would keep on missing deadlines, or I would end up getting distracted. And the second most annoying thing usually has to deal with the editing phase, like dealing with Premiere. Usually I would export something through Media Encoder as of recently, and certain clips would just lose their audio entirely, but the background audio would remain. Or sometimes Premiere would just completely up and crash on me, and I would have to go back to a previous autosave or a previous state just to try and get back to where I was beforehand. It's kind of demoralizing, I guess. I don't really think that's the right word. Demotivating? I don't know. Yeah.
If demotivating is not already a word, it needs to be.
I'm looking it up. Okay, it is a word.
Okay. All is right with the world.
All is right with the motivation.
One of my biggest struggles when it comes to drawing is I have two pretty big things. One of them is with my actual work, and that would be getting the scales good and like keeping up the details with each character that I make. The second is not something that have to do with what I do, it's to do with what people around me do. And that is that this doesn't happen a lot anymore because I don't draw in public. But when I did, like when I was in school and I would draw in between classes, and people would come up to me and they would start complimenting my work, and yeah, that's very nice, but they would say oh, you're so talented, I'll never be as good as you, like things like that. And I know they thought they were complimenting me, but really they were guilt tripping me a whole lot. So that is probably the biggest struggles.
Is it wrong for me to say that I am kind of like that? Like, I'll admit, I'll never be as good of a drawer as you. I can't.
I think it's called artist. I'm not a drawer like furniture.
Or. Poor choice of words, but.
Can you elaborate on what you mean by how the compliment felt like a guilt trip? Because that went a little over my head. I'm sure it's gonna go over some people's heads too.
I know this. Like, a lot of artists don't like having their art compared to other people. If someone, I'm sure this will be unclear for a lot of people because you have to experience it to really understand it. But if someone comes up to you and starts praising you because you're better than them, it makes you feel really bad because you want to be humble about what you do.
I can see that.
I could sort of see that.
So for me, the most frustrating part of the video making process is the editing itself. Like, I'm good on the recording, I'm good at mixing the audio and getting that how I want it, but the second I start having to put clips to the audio, it's like my brain just malfunctions and it's like slamming my head up against the computer. Like, the software never does what you want it to do, right? I swear these softwares are not designed to make videos, they're designed to mess with people's heads. and for me, it's definitely the editing process. Okay, so the next question is sort of a companion question to that one. What for you is the most rewarding part of the video making process, aside from actually posting the video?
I'd say it's just looking back at a certain chunk of a segment that you have done, like, or at the very least, I'd say it's looking back on a segment of a video that you've done and being proud of just how it turned out, just looking at it. I remember when I first looked at the animation that I did, like that little hat animation that I did for the Mr. Pigeon review, and I was really proud of it. I'm still proud of it to this day, like, just to try and bring in an example.
For me, okay, I'm not sure if this would be the most rewarding, but it's definitely my favorite part of the video making process. Even though it's not technically a part of the video making process, it's the writing of the script. I just have a ball thinking of jokes, writing down the script, creating storylines, mainly because I want to become an author later on in life. And the script writing has also helped me calm down. It makes me laugh when I have collabs like with Austin, or with you, Alias. It's a chance for me to flex my knowledge, chance for me to write something I enjoy. It's just fun.
Can I just say that I'm with Matt on that as well? Like, I also get a kick out of writing. Like, whenever I have a big idea for something, I just have to put it down and I just flesh it out. It's really satisfying.
It is.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. For me, it's like it's a tie between two things, but I like them for different reasons, right? One is the recording, because when I record, I get to act, and I love acting. It's like my bread and butter. When I record, I get to actually realize the ideas that I had when I wrote them down. And it's super fun even when I mess up and have to start over. And sometimes taking multiple different takes is like part of the process and part of the fun of it for me. And then the other thing is like the pre-planning stage. Like not like before you actually get to the script, the idea for the video and like the outlining of it before you really start the process of writing out your script, just the stuff that leads up to that. Because for me, the ideation is the real, where the spark of excitement comes in, where the motivation kicks in, and when you have like this brilliant idea. The only thing I don't like about the ideation phase is you can get stuck in it and not actually do anything. There's like it's like the drawback to it being so addicting and so fun. When you're recording, like you're finishing something, like there's something concrete there, and when you're in the middle of recording, you're halfway done, right? You're halfway done with something. When you're just thinking, like you're not done with anything. You've got a couple couple more miles to go before you can say you've accomplished anything. But those are the things that I find the most rewarding about the video making process. And now, Ellie, for you, what do you find most rewarding about
being an artist?
Yeah, thank you. About being an artist.
I would say the whole process of making art is pretty rewarding. Like, just watching what you are able to come up with, I think it's not just rewarding, but it's kind of therapeutic for me. It's one of the only things I've got going for me, so I'd like to keep on to it.
I mean, you have Austin. That's not saying much, but you have him.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know, I'll let you decide.
If I had Austin going for me, does that mean he would, like, go out and do my daily walks for me?
I don't think that's what he means.
I mean, you could give you a piggyback ride, probably.
Yes.
And that'll count.
Yes, please, please, please.
Austin, I have forged for you a new relationship goal. I hope you're happy.
That would be adorable. Like one day when we have like the event where we're all actually able to like meet up in person, like we need to just have Austin give Ellie a piggyback ride like down the block and just record it and see.
Yeah.
It'll be
I'll bring the camera.
Yes.
I'll bring the humiliation. Like, or maybe not humiliation, but wait, what?
It wouldn't be. We like 3 people said something at once, and now I have no idea what it was. But I was gonna say it wouldn't be humiliating because that's like a very masculine thing to do to actually
Like-
pick up your woman and take her somewhere.
Yeah, that really wasn't the best choice of word. Like, either that or like, I don't know. I'll bring the muscle.
Oh yeah, go yeah. That's
You
what
work
we have to
out.
do. Oh, and when we meet up, somehow, some way, we need to put Matt on somebody's shoulders. We need to figure out how that would work.
Can we all build like a pyramid with Matt on top?
Yes.
Or put him on my shoulders, and I'll carry him around and show him the world like the son that I never had. Or,
Oh, God! I'm having flashbacks to last night's viewing party.
What happened in last night's viewing party?
We
okay,
watched 3 episodes, Bafana, Baker Riggs, and Akari Gozen. And after that...
Ellie and I had a
It
bit of a
was a
discussion, on what we'd be as a family. Like, Ellie would be calling me the mom. Like, Ellie would call me the dad. Like, because of a special moment in the Kwame Buster Reflect All viewing party, and I would
burned into my mind.
And as a result, I would call her the mom. And I decided, hey, why not? Like, since Matt is the youngest of the group, he'd be our son.
Ah, yes, internet family. And I'm.
Don't encourage them!
Alias is like the
I have
full
to
aunt.
encourage them, right? Because if they're your parents, then I'm the weird aunt that keeps giving you weird candy, and I love that role. I have to encourage them.
We were actually talking about Finnish candy, during that
Don't eat
viewing
it.
party.
Don't
Don't
eat
eat
it.
finished candy.
It is pure hell!
Well, I won't say that. Like, a lot of them do look pretty appetizing, like the
No.
Marianne.
Marianne.
Yeah.
Marianne.
Yeah.
Matt, have you ever had finished candy? Or
And given the images I saw, I do not want to.
Have you?
I haven't. Oh,
I was talking to Alias.
You're talking to
no, I have not. It's just he reacted in such a way. Like, how do you react that way and have not tried finished candy before?
I've seen things.
I mean, I suggested sending everyone in this group like a bag of Finnish sweets. just for them to try, but that wouldn't be a good idea because it would be a death sentence.
Like, salmiakki is a thing. It's basically just salty black licorice.
Like,
Salty licorice.
Like that.
I like black licorice. I like salty things. But don't combine them for the love of God, please and thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna go with one of Matt's questions now. What is the favorite thumbnail that you have ever created? And for Ellie, it's
last night.
it's your favorite drawing.
If you had to pick, I know Austin last night I did ask this question because he asked what were the questions. If you had to pick one, what would your favorite thumbnail be?
Well, I'm not sure if I could really pick one. Like, if I had to pick, like, a favorite set of thumbnails, it would definitely be the finale thumbnails that I've done. Especially Shadow Moth's last attack.
That is a good one.
Yeah. I really do like this one. Like, it was a fun one to make, even if it was kind of simple.
I can't really pick any of my finale thumbnails because most of them were made by Chris because he's a nice friend and I don't deserve him. But, like, he's made my origin thumbnail, my Battle of Miraculous thumbnail, and my Shadow Moth's last attack thumbnail. Or Shadow Moth's final attack, Shadow Moth's last attack.
Oh my...
Ooh,
Whoa, what
I
is...
know.
it's great.
I combined the images of Hawkmoth. Well, I asked him to do this. I asked him to combine the images of Hawkmoth staring over Paris at night with the Armageddon that Strike Back has created.
Oh, wow, that is... Like...
That's really good.
Like I said, I don't deserve him!
Dear Lord.
But if I had to pick the thumbnail that I created and not the amazing funny Christmas man, I'd have to go with either my Dearest Family or Gang of Secrets thumbnails. I already posted them in the chat last night, but I'm proud of them.
Just showing them for the OBS audience. Here they are. This one ended up using the same exact, photo as, mine. Like...
It's hard to find good images. Like,
I don't
the
blame
Miraculous
you.
Wiki...
I don't blame
Miraculous
you.
Wiki is still... I know. Let me speak. Let me speak, Father.
Okay, son.
The Miraculous Wikipedia has the gallery. That's how I get all my images. But they are slow when it comes to, like, updating them. So I have to go by the first image of the entire, like, Dearest Family or Gang of Secrets.
Yeah.
So you said that the wiki has a galley?
A galley!
Yeah.
A galley.
I was just here like, okay, we're on a ship. And we're going below deck.
We're going
Or
below
the gallows or something.
We're going below deck for the miraculous images. I don't know. I don't know why I say things. Let's move on.
Ellie?
Oh, wait, yeah, Ellie. Sorry.
Oh, it's me?
Yes, you have a turn.
Well, I have two favorites. One of them I have posted in the chat already. It's the one with Executioner fighting Ladybug upgraded.
Yeah, for the OBS audience, right here.
Yeah. And I also have a drawing I did, I think last year, that I titled Your Guardian Angel. And that is also one of my favorites. Hold on, I'll send it. There you go.
Oh! That one!
That one I'm pretty proud of too.
That's cute.
And,
Romance!
And, a bit of a fun fact. I have that drawing framed.
I sent the sketch to Austin, and he framed it for some reason.
It's adorable!
Because love, that's the reason.
Because love.
He's proud of his wife, of his internet wife.
Or maybe future wife.
Hopefully, future wife. I ship the hell out of you two.
Yeah, like if Austin, if you mess this up, we're all like the rest of the group is gonna gang up on you, and
Oh my god, please.
I was gonna gang up on him either way, but
On which one of us?
on Austin.
on Austin, you don't deserve it. He does.
We're
Maybe.
all ganging up on Austin if this goes bad. Okay.
Oh my lord. R.I.P. me.
Just don't mess up. It's that simple.
Well, you do actually have to do something very wrong. Like you'd have to do something kind of out of character for you. You're pretty I don't know how to describe it. It's like you're very studious about your relationship, which is a good thing to be. It's super adorable like especially seeing you when she's not here and you start talking about her. That's
What?
Oh yeah.
That's the thing?
Okay,
we haven't
no,
discussed
what?
this very much.
What do you say about me when I'm not here?
He's really worried about you when you're not here. It's always the concern, it's the waiting for you, it's the wanting to contact you. It's very sweet.
I act as a witness.
Baby, if I don't contact you, it's because I'm at my job. And my job is stressful, so I don't have time.
Like, I mean, I know, I just...
He's just him. Austin's just Austin right now.
Considering he was the first person that I told when I had almost died in a car accident, I understand that he would be worried when I don't respond for a long time.
Yeah, that
explains it.
Yeah,
that explains it very well.
yeah. I understand you, honey.
Yeah. I just... I don't know. I always get worried about car accidents. Like, I guess that's partly, like... I'm not sure if I brought this up in an earlier podcast, but I feel like that's kind of why I have yet to drive or get a driver's license. I mean, I did try to get a permit, but I was one question short and failed the test, and ever since then, I've just been very, very anxious, very nervous. Just wanting...
Well, you have a lot more freedom once you learn how to drive, right? If you learn how to drive and you have a car that's pretty much yours to use, you can do a lot more things. And I would encourage you, if you only missed it by one question, right, that means you know most of the material. And if you were to review it a couple of times and then take it again, like, I'm pretty sure you'd pass.
Okay. Thanks for the encouragement.
I believe in you.
Thank you.
I
Yes.
somewhat believe in you.
Somewhat?
Yeah.
Somewhat?
It's not a son's job to believe in their fathers.
Stop encouraging them!
It's the other way around.
Why am I... I've just evolved into a son that's easily breakable because of mom and dad.
Can
With
we all
crazy
just
aunts.
stop the joke?
Alright.
Stop the joke.
Stop it
Okay.
for now.
Okay, we will stop it for now.
Alright.
I'm done. I've got it out of my system. Speaking of car accidents, is there anyone here who has not been in a car accident, who has been lucky enough to not be in a car accident before?
The little baby.
Yes.
No, but be happy.
Hooray! I'm the child who has not had a car accident. That's not a very low bar. Or very high bar, I should say. Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. So, next question.
Elias, you haven't answered the question.
Oh, I haven't answered the question. Yeah. My favorite thumbnail was the one I did for the bubbler. That thumbnail is like lost in the ether. It no longer exists, unfortunately. But it was my favorite one. It had me and my partners in the little bubbles, and it
That was cute.
Yeah, I actually might. Again, I do like. If I ever get to re-review the Bubbler, I really want the Huntsman in one of those bubbles. Just
Wait, you actually plan on re-reviewing stuff?
yeah, like I.
Re-review Reflector, damn it!
I think maybe this should be like a group project at some point where we like re-watch the whole series and be like, having watched this a second time, what do we think? Because I know that I need to rewatch the entire thing and actually have like my brain turned on for most of it, because most of the time when I'm watching this show, my brain is like off.
Yeah, like I guess that's kind of what.
And for people who are listening who have no idea what show we keep referring to, we're talking about Miraculous Ladybug, which is a show we're all like semi-obsessed with, and like one of the things that brought us together is our for some of us it's just the love-hate relationship with the show. For me, it's the need to complete it, to finish what I started. It started out, I absolutely loved it, and now I just need to see how it ends.
For me, the main reason I want to keep watching it is because I have my own moral philosophy that I can't judge a show good or bad until I've seen every last episode of it. Like, it's why I can't say that, yes, Season 3 has Reflector and a Maestro Chameleon and all the other just pain episodes, but also has episodes like Oblivio, Miraculous. Yes, I say Miraculous is good. And all of those good episodes, so I can't really say, yes, this season's the worst, because it also has some really good episodes.
Like, I'm also kind of in that similar boat. Like, I was adamant in hating Season 3, especially from what I've heard about it, and because the episodes that I actually have seen, like Chris Master and, I think Reflectall and Kwame Buster, I've only seen a bit of Stormy Weather 2, but...
Stormy Weather 2 was a waste of time.
Yeah, that one, spoiler alert, that's going to tie with Chris Master for the top of worst of Season 3 in my list. Like, those episodes have not necessarily given me a good impression, and what I've heard about Chat Blonde, Chameleon, and Battle of the Miraculous have not been any better. Though, while Chameleon definitely, yeah, it sucked, other episodes like Battle of the Miraculous, Bakerix, or rather, the episodes that I was anticipating to hate, like Battle of the Miraculous and Ikari Gozen, I didn't necessarily find myself hating all that much.
I, on the other hand, think Ikari Gozen is one of the worst episodes of Season 3. Like, last viewing party, I had a rant where I got genuinely angry the more I thought about it. Like, you people had to ask if I was okay.
Huh.
And I was.
Are you okay?
No, thanks for asking. I'm okay.
Most of us have... You said most of us have, like, a love-hate relationship with the show?
Well, the boys do.
Is it that we hate to love it, or love to hate it?
A combination of both. Also...
Usually, like, when someone says a love-hate relationship, at least the way I've learned it, I learned it as you love a part of something, but you absolutely hate another part of something. You see this part and you love it, you see this part and you hate it, and you're constantly going back and forth between, like, I really enjoy this, I really appreciate this, and I absolutely cannot stand this part. And
so Austin has a love-hate relationship to me because he loves all of me except my horrible jokes. He hates them.
Except jokes are amazing.
Except, you, well, at the very least, your jokes are charmingly bad.
That's not a compliment, dude.
They're horrible.
You're like, they're annoying, but for some reason I can't live without them. Like, I don't know why. It's just... Like, I just get a bit of a... I'm sorry if it came off as insulting. Like,
It doesn't.
like, they're bad, but I can't help but smile at them.
I mean, yesterday when I told Matt about some of my horrible, horrible jokes, Austin had a face that basically said, Ellie, I love you, but please, for the love of everything that is holy, shut up.
And unholy.
Yep.
I can see that. What is a show that you would recommend for someone who's watched Miraculous and enjoyed it for like half of it? I guess.
I'm not sure if there's a show I could recommend. Like, maybe Word... Like, go ahead.
If I were to think of one, it's a show that's extremely similar, Randy Cunningham, 9th Grade Ninja. Doubt any of you people have heard of it.
I love that one.
Now stop me if you heard this one before. The main protagonist wears a red and black suit and swings around saving a school against an evil person who uses weird magic to infest an object and turn the person who has that object into a monster. Does that sound similar to you?
Yeah. Yeah, have either of you guys seen Randy Cunningham, 9th Grade Ninja?
I've heard of it, but
But I want to check it out.
maybe that's a viewing party for another day.
Yeah, that's definitely a viewing party for another day. It's a good show.
We've got to make a list. A list of all the viewing party ideas that are not miraculously related because I'm getting tired of listening to Miraculous Ladybug!
I do try to skip over that. Like, at the very least,
Yes!
consider that a mercy.
I think that was probably the best answer. I guess it kind of depends on what the person likes about it.
Yeah, like Randy Cunningham has less romance and nice moments, but has admittedly better action for a 2D show. At least in my opinion.
It also has, like, I think Randy Cunningham is a slightly more endearing protagonist. There were moments where I'm like, I should find him annoying, but I don't find him annoying right now. Howard I found very annoying, though. I found
we don't
Howard
talk
annoying.
about Howard. This is gonna... You'll see in the viewing party. You'll see.
Howard was annoying the entire time.
No.
We don't talk about Howard. Alright,
There's like two that I would go with as far as recommending. One was a show I just watched, and this is one you would watch if you really liked the romance in Miraculous Ladybug, and you liked how cutesy it was, and all of the like love-hate moments. I would honestly like, and this is just something that I would recommend that anybody watch anyway. And I don't know why it like filled that particular void that kind of Miraculous did when it was good, but it was it's Fruits Basket. I don't know if you guys have seen like the newer one or the older one, but if you were really invested in like the ships of the show, I would say Fruits Basket is a good outlet to go to. And then the other show that I would recommend, if you were more into the action and the funny villains, you still liked the dynamic, but you weren't too crazy into the romance. The next thing I would recommend, with an asterisk, is Star versus the Forces of Evil. And the reason it's with an asterisk is only if you don't care about the way something ends.
I'm not gonna ask.
If the ending is not paramount to you, then Star versus the Forces of Evil is probably a great thing to go to if you haven't already seen it. If the ending is paramount to you, then Star versus the Forces of Evil will be extremely unsatisfying.
Noted. I've still yet to see it.
I think I remember you reacting to some of the ships that happened.
Yes. I did do that, but yeah, I did videos on that.
Yeah.
In my previous incarnation.
You are now Alias Reborn.
Alias 2.0. Okay. Austin, what do you think?
Again, I'm not sure if I could recommend any show. Like, for those who haven't seen Miraculous. Like, for those who have seen Miraculous and are looking for more, I'm not sure if I could find one.
Okay. Ellie, what about you?
I mean, I was gonna say Star Wars: The Force of Evil too, but I don't know if that would be a very good thing because, other than like the ships and the love square, there's not really much that is alike Miraculous Ladybug. And also, in my personal opinion, I really like Star Wars: The Force of Evil, but I think this is probably gonna get me some hate if people disagree with me. I don't think the show got good until season 3. Like, season 3 and season 4 were good. Season 1 and season 2 I was not into. And, of course, as Elias said, the ending is... I did not like it.
Noted.
I think the next question that I want to have is, what's something that you want to just vent about? Like, specifically like something in a show, movie, whatever it is. Like, it can be Miraculous related, it can be completely unrelated to Miraculous, it can have something to do with something we just said. What's something you just want to vent about? This is your time. I love how Austin and Matt have, like, nothing. I was sure they would, like, jump at it. I was sure they both had, like, 4 or 5 things.
Like...
I thought that as well.
I thought of that as well. Like, but again, I just felt, well... I just feel out of it. Like, you know what I mean?
I think we all do. I feel like me and Ellie have been sharing a brain cell recently. Like, we both dislike The Hunchback of Notre Dame too. We both thought of Star vs. The Force of Evil here. We've both been thinking like the same thing about you guys for like, I think every single podcast. Like, there's been an opinion about, like, the guys are totally gonna say this, and we shared that opinion. So I think we're just sharing I think somehow one of my brain cells got on a plane to Sweden. Finland. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's the final brain cell.
Okay, that's a quote for most unforgettable lines.
Okay, it's the final brain cell. Yes, that's going in there.
I'm adding it right now.
Oh, you're gonna add it. Okay.
Yeah, I just love going for the unforgettable lines.
Yeah. So, okay. Anybody have something that they want to vent about before I go on my rant?
I mean, I could talk about the Descendants movies for all of eternity, but no one is willing to listen, so I'm going to shut up about it.
No, actually, please talk about the Descendants movies. And if you overspeak, I will cut you off. All right, it's my job to moderate how long someone's talking and this and that. So if you get to a point where it's like, okay, this is too much, we need to move on, I'll tell you.
No, I am not doing that because
Descend your knowledge onto us.
I did not have a script prepared. When I have one prepared, I will rant. I will talk about it for some time. But right now I have nothing. But it's something I could talk about forever. So let's just move on from that.
Okay, is there something else you could that you want to rant about?
I can rant about how much I love writing fan fictions.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
have a fanfic writer.
Go ahead. That's tangentially related. It'll work.
Yeah, I have like posted like a few fan fictions to Wattpad. Is that how you pronounce it?
Wattpad.
Wattpad, yes.
Wattpad. I don't do the English today. I think the first one I ever posted was a fan fiction I did about my Miraculous OC, The Shadow, and I think about now it has like 200 readers or something. It's not that big. And I recently posted a new one that I'm making about the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, which is a reimagining of the first movie. I'm just adding
Okay,
in my
again,
own
we
character
share a
in it.
brain cell with
We
How to
share
Train
a
Your
brain
Dragon.
cell. I am so happy I'm connected to Alias. I just lost my other friend, so I'm glad I got another friend.
You lost your
Hooray for
other
friendship.
friend?
I mean, I have like an extremely close friend that I've known for all my life. I can't remember not knowing her, but I haven't seen her in a really long time because she moved to a city that is like an hour drive away from me. So I haven't really seen her since I moved into my apartment, and I don't really keep much contact with her. So I'm glad I got Alias as a friend instead because they're very similar in a lot of ways.
Is it Jennifer? If I'm
Jennifer, yeah.
Yeah. Also, it's got
You know my friend.
like the actual Shadow story that you were referring to. It has 307 reads,
Yay!
and I feel like some of them might have been from me. Just
Yay!
Well, send me a link to it. I'll check it out as soon as I possibly can. I'm an active fan.
I would say send it to me, but I don't read. Like I'm capable of reading. I just don't.
I don't do the English. Alias don't do the read.
send it like.
There it is.
Yep.
All right, now I
My-
have something to do in my off time.
Fair
Yeah,
warning
my little
though.
baby.
Fair warning though. Ladybug is basically, well, for lack of a better term, she's a ripe bastard in this story.
Oh, so she's like how she normally is.
Or
Alright,
rather, how we
gotcha.
make her out to be.
So how she normally is. Just,
I tried to make her more likable because she's not the one causing Shadow to get beaten up. I mean, she is the one that causes it to happen, but she's not the one doing it.
I mean, yeah, like,
Okay, so Ellie, you get to continue your rant about fanfiction. We kind of derailed you.
sorry.
Yeah, so, like, you just got the link to the first fanfiction. You can check it out for yourself if you so please. The fanfiction I'm writing right now, which is How to Train Your Dragon, as I said earlier. And I have, like, this entire universe created in my mind that is a dragon universe with my own characters. I should write a story about it, but I haven't come to that yet. And the OC that I'm adding into this fanfiction that I'm writing is one of the first in the line of all those dragon riders in my dragon universe. This sounds complicated and I am not sorry. So she's basically half human and half dragon. She looks like a human, but she acts like a dragon because she grew up amongst dragons, so she feels like she is one of them. And the story changes is that she is the one that teaches Hiccup how to befriend dragons because she feels connected to both worlds, so she would be kind of that missing link.
Ooh.
ooh. Me likey.
Hmm.
Likey the fanfic.
I need to continue on the fanfiction. And I also have a fanfiction that I won't be posting that is again, it's a Descendants fanfiction that I'm writing with my friend Jennifer. Like, I have my own OC and her OC that we have created. And that story is so dark that I'm not sure if will be able to post it because it is very mature, and it deals with things like self-harm, brutal violence, and incest. Not really
that's typical for Wattpad.
Disney-friendly. Let's continue. Talk about something happier.
Okay. Or well, actually, we're ranting, so technically, happy is not that. That was the most optimistic rant of all time.
So, shall we
I want
open?
to be happy.
So, shall we open the floodgates for Alias?
Alias, go ahead.
Okay, so I just finished watching Fruits Basket, and Fruits Basket is supposed to be like one of these classic anime, right? I hate the way that it ended. The ending made no freaking sense. And Akito is crazy and needs to go to a mental institution. Like, I literally recorded me ranting about this, and I'm gonna, like, put it all together into a video. So someone who's probably watched that video and then comes and sees this, they'll, like, hear pretty much the same thing. But I want to rant to, like, actual people about it. Have any of you guys seen any part of Fruits Basket at all?
Nope.
Nope.
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
No? Anybody have any idea what happens in it?
Nope.
Nope.
Do you care if I spoil it at all?
Nope.
I guess not.
No? Okay. Okay. So, in Fruits Basket, you have this family, and these family, they're all, like, tied to the different animals of the zodiac. And basically the concept of it, like, if you get hugged by a member of the opposite sex, you're gonna turn into whatever zodiac animal you represent. That's... So you probably... It's super weird, right? I guess what happens when you turn back, right? What do you think happens? You turn back into your normal human self, and you're missing something. There's something you don't have. There's something you don't have when you turn back, because when you transformed into an animal, they didn't fit anymore. So when you transform back...
Your humanity?
Clothes.
Yes!
Oh,
Clothes. No. It was clothes.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
What if you're a Virgo? That's not an animal. It's a maiden.
You're thinking of, we're talking about the Chinese zodiac, not the,
Oh, we're talking about... Okay, now I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So then you transform back, and of course you're missing your clothes because they fell off of you when you transformed into whatever it is that you were. And it's like they have like their romance in it, and the romance, like, you know how a lot of romances have like two potential romantic leads, and it's super annoying because it's I don't know why I always pick like the guy who does not get with the girl at the end. It's always the other guy that I'm like, no, it should have been that guy every single time. And it was like that with this. Although I will say it's not as bad in this. I think it's well handled in this. Like, the romance aspect of it is well handled, right? But the idea behind the turning into zodiac animals, like, as silly and as cute as it sounds, it's actually a curse. Because there's one member of the family that's not one of the zodiac animals, but they basically function as like God for the family. Because in the story of the Chinese zodiac, it's like one day God called up all the animals to the hill to have a banquet, and that's how we got our zodiac order. And so you have all of the family members who are different animals, and then you have one family member who acts as God. And the thing about this family member that acts as God is they are royally messed up in the head. Like the character that acts as God, like, at first I thought this character was a woman because it was obvious that this character was being voiced by a woman, but no, this character is actually a man. And I'm just like, okay, that that actually makes sense because kind of the woman that they have voicing this character makes him sound actually like kind of creepy and unsettling, and I like that, and I like where this is going, right? And then you get like 2/3 of the way through the series, and it's like, so Akito is actually a woman. Akito was a woman the entire time, and I'm like, what? Why? But like the whole idea is that the character who acts as God, her name is Akito, and she's like mentally abused from the time by her mom from the time she's like born. And once her dad dies, there's nothing stopping the amount of abuse. And so her response to that is to make all the other Zodiac members of the family, to make their lives like terrible and to basically terrorize them, right? And there's this theme of like generational, not generational, but there's this theme of the cycle of abuse that goes on here, right? And that's like tied to the curse of the Zodiac, right? And so our main character wants to find a way to break the curse, right? Guess how the curse ends? Go on, guess.
I mean, if you get turned into your Zodiac, if you hug someone of the opposite sex, what was that it?
Yeah.
So does it break it if you get kissed by the opposite sex?
Nope. Anybody else got a guess?
Nope.
So it ends by ending. Like it just stops. Like they don't do anything that causes it to stop. It just breaks on its own, right? And right? That makes no sense.
Why?
That's so unsatisfying, right? And especially because it was tied into this theme of the cycle of abuse. It's almost like it's saying, if you just wait, and if you watch the show, it incurs the message that if you're just like nice enough to your abuser, like eventually this thing just ends. It just stops. And it's just like, no, that's not how things end. That's not how you stop a cycle of abuse. That's not how you break a curse. That's not satisfying. And I'm just sitting here like, if I'm the only person who's angry about this, like, why do I not see, like, when you look up the Fruits Basket ending, why do I not see, like, tons of rants about it, right? Like, I just feel like people should be upset about this because it makes no sense. I will say, like, the very, very ending, it like, ends on an emotionally satisfying note with our two main leads growing old together, and that's nice and sweet. But there's, like, no logic to the main plot thread of the series ending. There's, like, no logic to it. Like, we have this main plot thread that goes throughout the entire series, this main theme that goes throughout the entire series, and you know what happens? It just stops. And it seems like it stops because our main character was just nice to the character that acted as God. Which is really messed up. Because the character that actually acted as God came at the main character with a knife one time. Literally came at the main character with a knife. And you know what the main character did?
Ran away?
No.
Do nothing?
No. The main character literally walked toward the person wielding a knife at them, right? Trying to be compassionate upon them or something like that. It was like, no. Someone pulls a knife on you, you run away.
Just like when somebody's like coming towards you with a knife, you don't try to act compassionate. They have malicious intent. It's like trying to walk up to a car that's like coming towards you and is not stopping. Like
what's actually interesting, the main character's mom actually dies in a car accident. That's a very apt analogy that you
Oh
made
wow.
This just sounds like the world's worst Animorphs reboot.
there. Animorphs. It's as a whole, Fruits Basket is not that bad. It's just the ending makes no sense. It makes no sense. And like, so there's this character who their main thing is that they're like the closest person to the abuser, right? And like, because their zodiac sign is like the closest member to God, right? That's like the parallel there, right?
All right.
But if anything, throughout the entire series, we see this character who's supposed to be the closest to God being the one putting the most distance between themselves and the family member who acts as God. Like, we see this intentional distancing, and we see that despite the intentional distancing, the character who's closest to God, their curse breaks last because they're closest to God, right? Instead of breaking first because they're the ones who actively distance themselves from God.
Yeah.
Like, it made no sense. It made no sense.
For once, someone's breaking over in me here. Hooray.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have to say a single thing.
No, you did not have to say a single thing. Fruits Basket has broken me. It has just shattered me beyond belief, right? And it's Fruits Basket. Fruits Basket should not be breaking people. It's Fruits Basket, of all things. And it's just... And you know what happens to the character who acted as God the entire time? You know what happens to them, like, when the show ends?
Nothing.
They implode.
They
just, like, get their happy ending. They just, like, get the like, they don't even apologize properly to everybody, right? Like, they stop abusing people, thankfully. There's, like, a genuine change of heart that comes about, right? But there's no consequences. And, like, that character can be redeemed. It's not like it's a completely unredeemable character, but that character needs a lot of therapy and possibly a very long stay in a mental institution because she tried to murder 3 people.
just... What?
I need to see this for myself.
It is actually a good show, right? That's why I recommended if you saw Miraculous and you liked it, right? But you will be dealing with the same thing with Miraculous of some things just not making sense. Some things just make 0 sense with this anime, right? It feels like they should make sense. It sounds like they're going to make sense, and then they don't make sense. They just don't make sense.
It doesn't do the sense making.
No, it does not.
Logic has gone adios!
Either that or just somebody put Logic in a bag and then beat him with sticks or something like that.
Lock it up for 90 years. See what makes him tick. I had to. It's my one shtick.
The stabbing kind of, like the going at someone with a knife kind of reminded me of a joke. Is this a good time for a joke?
Yes, this is a good time for a joke.
Take a stab.
It is a joke I heard somewhere. Like, someone was accused of stabbing another person, and they said, "No, I did not stab this person. I was just playing with a knife at the street corner. They came up to me from behind the corner. They didn't see me, and they walked straight on my knife." 18
As
times.
one does.
Wait, what?
18 times.
Yeah, you gotta...
18
cut him some
times.
slack.
Okay. Do it once. Shame on you. Do it twice. Shame on. Do it twice. Shame on me. Do it 18 times, and yeah, I'm freaking guilty. Yeah. Just,
Why are we laughing at someone getting stabbed?
They just came up to me and walked right on my knife 18 times.
like, yeah, just do it 18 times. All right, I confess. I stabbed the person. What do you want from me?
Okay.
Have you gotten it out of your system, Alias?
Yes, I have. Is there anybody else who has a rant that they want to go on?
Boys?
I got nothing to rant about.
You got nothing to rant about. You're positive.
Yes.
Okay. Austin?
I'm not sure on what to rant on. Like, I mean, of course I could go for the obvious one, like, what the hell did they do to Chloe and why must Marinette be Marinette? But, again, I felt like Battle of the Miraculous kind of burnt me out on that. Like, I won't say that it's, like, I'd still say that there is still some truth to what, like, to how they handled Chloe's character. But at the same time, I felt like it's just a broken record at this point. I feel like, again, I'm still not going to forgive them for what they did to Chloe's overall character after building up such high expectations. But I do see that there are some ways it could have worked. They just didn't go for those ways. And with Marinette, again, with Alias defending her, like, yeah, I just kind of lost a bit of, I just felt like I lost a part of myself that ended up hating her.
I did think you had an abnormal amount of hatred towards a fictional child. I was attempting to remedy that as best I could.
And you might have done it.
Okay. So the next question. What?
Alias is the wise ant that gets us to think in new ways.
Aw.
Hooray for Alias! I am no longer a menace.
Give it time.
Okay. So, we're going to take one of Matt's questions again. Who is the most annoying character in Miraculous Ladybug?
I think I know Austin's answer.
I'd probably,
Is it Chris?
it depends. Like, it usually depends on the kind of episode. It's usually, like, I would say it's Marinette, but at the same time, I've definitely, grown to defend her, like, in some cases. I would say it's Chloe, but again, there were cases where I feel like she definitely felt a bit sympathetic, or at the very least, like, I could feel bad for her. Like, not everything, but still. I feel like the only character that I could consider the most annoying is Chris Laheef. He's just everything I could hate about a child. Like, and he doesn't even have anything to, well, help him out. Like, Manon, yeah, she's a lying brat, but at the very least, when she's puppeteer, yeah, she's devious. I like her. Chris, he doesn't even want to be there. Anyone else?
For me, it's Manon. Like, Manon's the main reason why I say the Puppeteer is the worst episode of Season 1. She has no problems lying to her mother, just guilt-tripping Marinette to try to get a doll out of her. She has... Now, I've worked with children. I have been a junior camp counselor for 2 summers in a row. So, I like my children to have a little bit of discipline to understand, yes, you're in the wrong. Manon is never seemingly in the wrong, and no one calls her out for it. Like, in The Puppeteer, she uses her baby doll eyes to get Marinette's doll. It causes all that chaos. And right after that, the next time that Manon is getting babysitted by Marinette, she tries the exact same trick again. Granted, Marinette doesn't fall for that, but the problem there is that she didn't realize that being a spoiled brat, even more than Season 1 Chloe, in my opinion, she doesn't learn. that's a bit of a problem. I can't like her. Yes, Chris is bad, but he only appears in, what, technically 2 episodes? And granted, those episodes are Simple Man and Chris Disaster.
And, also Time Tagger.
That's a technicality! And if I didn't say Manon, I'd have to say August, aka Gigantitan, aka why are you a character?
I feel like Gigantitan was more, pointless than outright obnoxious. I mean, it's a freaking baby being akumatized. Just, that's really all it has going for it. Aside from wanting a lollipop.
Lollipop!
Yeah, and I'm still, though, again, it does have that Demon from Hell voice, which was actually Grant George, aka Kim and Markov. Like,
yeah.
And, he was actually picked because, well, he actually voiced Yikes from Popples. You ever had a casting conundrum that was ever solved by being Yikes from Popples?
I can't say I have.
Anyone else?
Ellie, what do you think?
Well, I would like to address the boys. That they think the kids are the most annoying. I don't know if you guys will look at this the same way, because I'm not an expert on kids at all. But I feel like kids, especially as young as 5-year-olds, that is just how they act. They don't mean any harm. That's just how they act. They know what they want, and they do what they know works to get it. They don't mean to be like manipulative or anything. They just do what they know works because it's worked in the past. So I personally don't find that annoying. I just find it part of being a kid.
Well,
Alright, that's fair.
I freely admit I'm not well with kids. I'm not really the best with kids. I certainly care about them. I even had a nightmare about one of my nephews that I won't go too deep into, but yeah, I definitely care about them. I'm just not necessarily inclined to really be in the same place as them. Like, out of, well, I don't know, my own personal mental thought. So I feel like that plays a part of it. But what would you say is the most annoying character?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, I've had moments where I've found, I think, every single one of the characters annoying in some scenes, but but every character also has scenes that redeems them. So for me, I don't really find any character annoying. Is that an acceptable answer?
Yes, you are way too positive.
I don't know if that was a compliment or an insult, but I'll take it as a compliment.
It's a compliment.
Yeah. So for me, it's kind of originally I was just gonna say Chloe, but now that I think about it, it's the entire bourgeois family. Although I was not annoyed by Zoe herself. It's kind of like, I just wish she'd been handled differently, that she'd been handled better, because she could have worked, she could have served a purpose in the story and made more sense. People are like more mad about what Zoe did than what Zoe is. Or no. It's the other way around. People are more mad about what Zoe does to the narrative than they are mad at her character itself.
It's like they're mad at the reason why she was created.
Yeah, that's really... I'm gonna speak on my own behalf. I don't necessarily consider Zoe the most annoying character, but she's definitely the worst in my opinion. But it's not necessarily because of what she is. Oh, she's a nice girl. Okay. She's a Mary Sue. I'm kind of guilty of liking a few Mary Sues. But it's more so it's more so how she was made, why she was made, and when she was made. That really is the issue here. Like, she was made to replace Chloe after Battle of the Miraculous, after she practically took out any sense of, redeemability, and, and she's made to make her, I feel like there are definitely some elements of her that could have worked, okay, she's in an abusive family. I did think Haryana Hook brought this up when she was defending Zoe. That could definitely work, but it really does seem like they're just trying to force the fact that Chloe is unlikable. It's not really natural. It's just you actually care about Chloe? Here are many different reasons as to why you're wrong. Oh, you actually gave a damn about her? Here comes Chloe to tell you that she got too soft. Oh, you actually, like Queen Bee? We're going to drag her name through the mud. And that really does seem like it. They're dragging her name through the mud. Even with Zoe trying to be nice, even with the whole world, saying, I'll always love you even if the whole world hates you. Do you see what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that is that the whole world didn't have to hate her because they didn't have to write her that way. They had multiple perfect excuses to not write her that way. They could have had their cake and eaten it too. But they could have had her as the villain and still redeemed her at the same... They could have had her as the villain for Battle of the Miraculous and still redeemed her, and it still... But yeah, so I'm super annoyed at the entire bourgeois family, although I'm not really annoyed at Zoe, but I'm annoyed at Chloe, the mayor, and Audrey, because they are all collectively the worst, although the mayor is probably... I don't know if I'm more annoyed by the mayor or with Audrey, because they're both just so self-centered and such awful parents, right? They can't set boundaries for their kids. They can't give their kids the actual attention that they need, and Audrey and Andre are the reason that Chloe is the way she is. And the more you learn about Andre and Audrey, the more you understand about why Chloe is the way she is. But at the same time, Chloe kind of got on my nerves for being that schoolyard bully, because I've just, pretty much everyone's been bullied before. It's it sucks. We don't like bully characters. And when they tried to redeem her, I was not thrilled about it, but it got to the point where I was like, okay, yeah, they can actually make this character work. Because they had her actually open up to Ladybug about how she felt about herself and how she actually viewed herself, and that in my mind was very well done. And then they kind of took it back and they just made her annoying again, and the fact that she's cooperating with Shadow Moth and with Hawk Moth, it's just she has no real incentive to do that other than the fact that she's a brat and she's just like throwing a several year long temper tantrum, which I have dealt with people who have thrown a several year long temper tantrum, and it does kind of ring true to kind of what Chloe has been doing. Where was I? Yeah. Andre and Audrey are the worst. They, like, and once they get back together at the end of season 3, we don't see them work on their relationship. We don't see them become better people. We kind of see more of Andre, and we get to, like, sympathize him a little bit as he interacts with Zoe, but like, we don't actually see them work on their relationship. We don't see them work with their kids. We don't, like, that whole family needs a lot of therapy. And, like, if we had a scene of that family in therapy, I would like them so much better. But as it stands right now, they're just all so annoying in their own annoyingly awful ways. And that's my 2 cents about the most annoying character.
Yeah.
In Miraculous Ladybug.
Speaking of Zoe, who do you guys think her dad is?
I'm pretty sure they're just gonna make a random... They're gonna make a random character her dad. I don't think they're gonna tie that back in.
Probably. Either that or it's just going to be irrelevant.
Yeah. Oh, something that annoys me about Zoe, she said she only had one friend. We never learn who that one friend was.
Yes! Like, just... And the entire backstory itself is pretty vague. Like, again, they're just... I feel like they just... It feels more like an outline of a tragic backstory rather than the actual tragic backstory itself. Like, feel, like, vague enough for other people to relate to it, which, okay, I guess that could be sort of understandable, but nothing lacking in, like, not really giving any concrete details.
I think that's the main problem I have with Zoe. She has a lot of potential. She's a new character, but that character is about as flat as a board. You have nothing to really... There's nothing for the audience to really enjoy about her. I'm gonna compare Zoe to Marinette. Marinette, while she is unlikable at times, we know a lot about her, mainly because she's the main protagonist, and there are times where we know her mental state. We know what she's gone through, because they show us what she's gone through. And that makes, at least at times, her a lot more sympathetic and even likable. Zoe, on the other hand, is pretty much just mentioning all these things, and we're supposed to be saying, oh, okay, I feel bad for you. Like,
Sorry.
First rule of showbiz, show, don't tell. Just give us something, anything.
That would require creativity.
This show has done creativity. It's just that it has an Icarus complex.
Yeah, just... And it just, like... And again, at the very least, let us naturally like her. Don't try and cram it down our throats and chastise us for not doing as such. And while you're at it, please stop praising Zoe as if she was the second coming of Christ. And, like, I especially hate how they practically decide to say, yeah, she is the replacement for Queen Bee. When, well... Like, what...
I think it's Plag who says that. Plag's like, she is to Queen Bee what this cheese is to that cheese. Like,
oh, yeah, that one.
Sweeter,
that
more
got
refined, and much nicer.
That got a little bit of a decent moment out of me where I was about to call him something, but Malty stopped me and said, maybe don't start with you black twice. Like, again, I was just trying to call him, like, the insult started with you black because, well, yeah, of course, Plag is black, but yeah, Like I said, it's not about race. But
I've actually got a question to tie into that. What is everyone's favorite moment as of now of both the viewing parties and the podcast? Like, their favorite moment, if you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one.
Like, I know, Alias, I know you haven't been a part of the viewing parties as long as most of us, but hey, it just means you have a... Yeah, go ahead.
For me, it's probably like the role play between Austin and Multi. That was a fun moment.
Yes, I miss that so much. Like, that was how I knew that these were going to be pretty special. It's just a shame that Multi can't really come back, or at the very least is unable to come back.
For now.
Yeah.
We shall find the ways.
We shall go the distance. We'll be there someday. I don't know the lyrics to this song.
How are you not proud of your voice?
Because I hear it over a recording sometimes, and it sounds very different from how I hear it in my head.
Well, it's you have a very nice tone, and you sound very clear.
Oh, thank you.
If I had to pick my favorite moment, it's gotta be the Gamer 2.0 viewing party I had with Austin.
Oh yeah. I really need
I
to.
wasn't there for that.
I really need to send you the video. Like, again.
I just heard you broke your figurine.
Yeah, I ended up punching a ladybug figure out of jealousy and, yeah, just split apart.
That was one of the two things. The first thing wasn't a masturbation joke, but proceeded to expand across the entire freaking episode.
Yeah.
And then the funny Nickelback man just breaks Ladybug.
Can that be Austin's nickname from now on?
Funny Nickelback.
Like,
Funny Nickelback man.
yeah, whenever we introduce this podcast, just introduce Austin.
Oh yeah, funny Nickelback man. We could totally do that. We could do that every single time.
Oh my lord.
From now until perpetuity.
Have you told them the story about, like, someone saw, like, the box with the Miraculous that you brought to meet Christina V, and they asked you if you were gonna propose to her?
No, I did not. Like,
Excuse me.
Okay, I have to hear that story now.
okay, I think I was in line for Christina V when I was, like, and I was showing off my cosplay, and I got to show off the Miraculous box. And I think one of them asked me, are you planning on proposing to Christina V? And I was like, no. First off, I've already got a girlfriend in Finland. And second...
Yippee.
And second, Christina V already has a boyfriend, now fiancé. Like, and three, Christina V's out of my league, or at the very least, I think I'm out of Christina V's league. Like, being honest, I feel out of her league. And fourth, I think it would be weird for, well, me, this guy, like, freaking, this guy, like, Mr. Akuma in a watch, to, propose to Ladybug. To propose to
That's a fanfic waiting to
who I
happen.
called the Spotted Flea. And yeah, I did end up, like, right as I left, like, or at the very least before I left, I decided to, like, say farewell, and I decided to go a bit, decided to tap into the huntsman voice and then say, farewell to you, Spotted Flea. And I survived.
How?
I don't know how. It is a very weird...
Well, when when you work in performance, you have to learn how to have that kind of tough skin.
Like, I mean, of course I kind of meant it as a joke. Like, I really don't think of Christina V as, well, a spotted flea. She is very talented and, like, well, she's incredibly nice. It's just, and even then, I did kind of mean it, like, as a bit of endearment. Like, well, maybe not, just as something for the Huntsman to tell Ladybug. Like, not necessarily for me to tell Christina V. Like,
yeah. So, my favorite moment of the podcast so far was actually a moment I was not in. Right? It was the... I want to see if anybody can guess what my favorite moment was. Because I don't... It was one of the things I saw when I was editing together the podcast.
Is it something that's up on the YouTube channel?
is this in the after hours?
Is it me getting broken for like the 5,000th time?
Oh wait, actually it is in the after hours. Yes.
Hold on, I'm gonna try and find it. Nerds.
Is it Matt complaining that Chris and Austin are just... Chris and Austin are just breaking each other while I'm just enjoying a snack?
Oh,
I did love that part, but that's not my favorite part. Does anybody have another guess?
I have no idea.
I have...
It was Ellie. It was when you guys made Ellie repeat herself, and she said, "So Matt is thinking a three-way."
Oh, bloody!
I just thought that was so funny. because of how absurd it would have been. I love how Chris kind of like leaned into it and made it even more uncomfortable for Matt. And
I've got to make a compilation of every single time, both viewing party and podcast, where Austin, I doubt that you are ever gonna break me, Alias, Ellie, Chris, Zeno, Mark, just all of you people breaking me. Because I have noticed this, and I don't think there's been a single freaking viewing party or podcast where I have been safe from your minds.
I don't know if Mark broke you.
Give it, it'll happen eventually.
I mean...
Yesterday night, Zeno broke you just by having screaming noises.
The rabbits.
I'm a fragile boy. I get broken easily like a flat... how do you say that egg?
Fabergé.
Fabergé. I am as easy to break as a Fabergé egg.
Fabergé?
I have
Except
no
less
idea
as
what
colorful.
that is.
It's like a
A
Russian
very fancy
egg.
egg.
Oh.
Like sweet.
It's like one of those really fancy eggs that they make in Russia.
I
Oh,
am queuing it up. Yep. These are... Wait. These are it.
I see nothing. I just see blackness. There we go.
Yep, those things.
Very fancy eggs.
Very fancy. Very easy to break. Just like me. Mine's the fancy.
Have confidence.
I try to, but then I get broken by dick jokes.
Have confidence. Is it confident or confidence?
Confidence.
Confidence. I don't do the English.
I English every not at all.
I don't word good.
This has been the Assembly of Nerds. I have to do that again. I'm sorry. There's like we're like all slowly losing our English capabilities. See, this is what happens when you share a brain cell. You wind up.
That needs to be a drawing of Ellie, and Alias just sharing a brain cell, like being friends.
I have no idea how I'm supposed to draw that.
Or like somebody you could nudge me and be like, "Hey, I have a test today. Can I have the brain cell?"
Yes, I need to make that.
Okay.
Okay, let's retake.
Yeah.
From the start.
This has been the Assembly of Nerds podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. Join us next week for more, and goodbye.
Bye.
Peace.
Adios, muchacharinos.
What the bloody hell?